Good evening and welcome to the Spring High School Band Concert. We've got a wonderful program we're ready to share with you tonight. We hope you enjoy all of the selections that we have prepared for you. If you have not already, please take this opportunity to silence any electronic devices so that they do not go off during the performance and distract our performers. The first piece we have for you tonight is by a composer you've all heard because we play something by him every year, it seems lately. And in fact, opened last year's spring concert with a selection by him as well. But Mount Everest by Rossano Galante. I really enjoy programming his music because I love film music, and his main job is helping write music for films, and all of his band stuff that he writes sounds like it. So there's some great imagery that you'll get of Mount Everest, and of course the tallest point on the planet. So we hope you enjoy Mount Everest by Rossano Galante. one of the customary things of our spring concert for the high school every year is we also have some awards and recognition that we are going to be presenting tonight. The first bit of that is our annual Music Parent Organization Scholarship, and I will hand it over to Carla Eldred.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Well, each year the Cameron Music Parents Organization offer opportunities for senior music students. And the students who participated for the duration of their time in middle school and high school are eligible to apply for these scholarships. They're selected based on their musical accomplishments, their involvement, and their dedication to the music program. Tonight, we'll be recognizing 4 band students who will be receiving scholarships of varying amounts. Just for your note, the choir scholarship recipients will be recognized at the choir concert next week. So recipients, please stand and be recognized when your name is called. I have the distinct pleasure of announcing the recipients of the Cameron Music Parents Scholarships for 2024, and they are Hannah Tadlock, Kaylin Ewald, Jacob Lemke, and Maddie Gillis.
Thank you. All right. The next thing we have, a little tight up here. Stage time for about 55, and we got 70. Okay. The next thing we'd like to recognize, band students are eligible to earn varsity letters as instrumentalists, and the way to get your first letter is to have 3 full years of consecutive service within the high school band, and that would be every junior that we have with us. So I'm going to call their names. If you would stand as I call your name, and we'll applaud them all at the end. That would be Lauren Pearson, Nicole Kargas, Kaylee Krotzik, Sam Bringleson, Jacob Mesnerich, Carter Cherney, Quentin Safford, Isabella Harder, Katie Schultz, Damian Rank, Celeste Lee, Riker Ebert, Luke Sullivan, Parker Davis, and Kennedy Ladahoff. A round of applause for our first 3 members. And then the next would be second-year letter winners, which is earned by 4 years of service within the high school concert band. Those will be, and you'll hear these names a few times tonight, Callie Stoburn, Kaylin Ewald, Michaela Stoburn, Jamin Schofield, Hannah Tadlock, Maddie Gillis, Anthony Demling, Seppi Pika, Jacob Lemke, Jamie Foles, Tanner Savert, and Katie Larson. Second-year letter winners. Okay, and then last for this portion, we have a number of students up here that performed this weekend down at UW Eau Claire as part of the WSMA State Solo and Ensemble Festival. We had 8 entries down there, including our jazz ensemble, which you'll be hearing from later in the evening. But I would like all of our folks who played down there this Saturday to please stand and be recognized. Which brings us to our second selection for the evening, one I'm personally very excited for. I know my son is as well. He's become obsessed with this piece of music. We have to listen to it every day on the way home, and now he gets to hear it live. So, all right, Riverdance. There's some notes about it in your program. This is a world-famous Irish dance show. Some of you may have seen it. It has toured the world, over 22 million audience members over the course of its life. And it is a beast of a piece of music to play. Among the other things that make it challenging, the time signature in this piece of music, for those of you who speak music, in the 11 or 12 minutes of music, the time signature changes 149 times. Often measure after measure after measure after measure, and if you don't think I counted, I grew up around baseball, they count everything. So, 149, counted that up this morning. And there are so many small details that we've talked about so much. It's the difference between taking a okay or a good performance to, wow, that was really, really good, which is what we've been going for. And to do that, these small nuances have, to be coordinated amongst these 70 young people up here. They have to do it the same way, at the same time, every time, or it just doesn't work. And there is a lot to line up. So it's been a fun one to work up. The piece is in 4 sections. You'll only hear a real distinct gap between the third and the fourth. But we hope you enjoy it. This also features a number of soloists, which, as you'll hear as the piece goes on, there is some complicated stuff that they will be throwing at you, so we really hope you enjoy Johan de Meij's arrangement of Bill Whelan's Riverdance. So you see what I mean? There's a reason that that music is award-winning. Very, very much a lot of fun. One person I just do want to call out for another bit of recognition. A bunch of my friends after I graduated college played that same piece of music, and the person who played the soprano saxophone solo that you heard spent many, many nights in the practice rooms in the basement of our arts building till like 3 a.m. and said it's just one of the nastiest things that he has ever played. So, Jamin, nice job. Regain composure here. Okay. The next piece of music on our program, as you see, was selected by our graduating band seniors of 2024. Every year at the spring concert, or prior to it, the seniors get together and look through the list of pieces that they've played over the years and things that, something that they either maybe haven't done or they want to do or they want to do again, something they've really enjoyed. This year, they landed on Reineke's Fate of the Gods. But before I talk more about that piece, I would like to spend a few minutes talking about our 12 graduating seniors who have only, where are we at, 16 days of school left? Yeah, okay. 12, 11. Oh, that's the rest of us, sorry, jeez. Whatever. I don't like you anymore. What I can say is that this is among the strongest senior classes of musicians I've had the privilege of teaching in my 12 years in public schools. Each one of them, great people, they are dedicated, they are an asset to this band program and are a big reason why we are what we are. They played a huge role in that. Every year, I come up with some approximate statistics that bring some people to number shock here. Again, these are approximate, but these 12 seniors that we're going to talk about have combined for over 15,300 band rehearsals, 372 concerts, over 900 individual lessons, over 70 solo and ensemble entries, and 25 honors band or all conference musician selections. So as you can see, they are a pretty impressive group. And for me too, a pretty special group. This is my 8th year teaching here in Cameron. So when they were the new kids in the building as 5th graders, I was the new guy too, and we kind of got to be new together, even though I wouldn't end up teaching them until they were in 7th grade. But I can still very, very much, I'm sure, just as you parents out there, kind of these 12 people, you can remember that day probably like it was 5 minutes ago. And being able to watch these young adults grow over the last 8 years has been, some of them just started growing up a year ago. That's what I meant by that. Okay. But in this group, I pulled just a few samplings of some future plans. I mean, in this group of 12 seniors, we've got a future veterinary technician, a natural resources professional, a dental hygienist. We've got a few future teachers, including maybe a music teacher. We've got an engineer and much, much more. So these people give me confidence that our future is in good hands. And as we've spent our 8 years together in this program, there's bonds that get formed over that time. I would say this year in, year out, and really what you have here is a big family. We do all these things together. We spend all this time after school. We start the day together, and especially with these seniors, that bond that is formed, we've experienced so much. We have celebrated together, we've laughed together, mourned together, and even cried together a little bit over that time of getting to know each other as people. And what we do here has been is so, dare I say, instrumental in making those relationships happen. They get to hear stuff like that every morning. They love it. So, we are going to have our seniors stand as I call their name, and we'll give them a huge round of applause once all 12 of them are standing. Starting in our flute section, Callie Stovern. In our clarinet section, Kayla Newald. Also in our clarinet section, Michaela Stover. In our saxophone section, Jamin Schofield and Hannah Tadlock. Over in the trumpet section, we have Maddie Gillis and Anthony Demling. To the other side of the stage in our horn section, Jacob Lemke and Jamie Foles. Back in the trombone section, we have Seppi Pika. And in the percussion section, Tanner Safford and Katie Larson. Good wave. So how about a round of applause for these 12 fantastic people. So now you are going to hear the piece of music that they have selected for this occasion. Stephen Reineke's Fate of the Gods. This is on their, again, our notes in your program about the story that this piece is telling about Nordic mythology. But to boil it down to a few things, you're going to hear battles, you're going to hear destruction, and you are going to hear immense beauty as well. So we hope you enjoy the senior selection for 2024, Stephen Reineke's Fate of the Gods. down here. Okay. Before we play our last concert band selection for you, this is the portion every spring where we give out some awards to outstanding seniors. And the first thing I want to say about this group, and as far as awards presentations and such goes, my wife will vouch for me on this, and she wouldn't lie for me. I want to be very clear about that. This, in my 12 years of teaching, has been the hardest year I have had in selecting, because so many, probably all of them, are deserving. They're just a really, really solid bunch. So she will vouch for me. I agonized over this, but ultimately decisions do get made, and we're very proud to be recognizing these individuals here tonight. Our first, I just realized I skipped a bunch of stuff. We'll go with it. All right, we'll cycle back to that. Our first award is for Outstanding Performance in Jazz Ensemble. And this goes to an individual this year who has been in our jazz ensemble, I believe, for all 4 years, I'm pretty sure. And they really, over that time, have kind of been the glue that has held that group together and made them sound as good as they do, because without this part of the band being rock solid, the feel for jazz, Latin, swing, whatever you happen to be doing, the feel is not there without an absolutely stellar musician on this particular part. I'm trying not to give it away. But they've already probably known. But very deserving. The story I'll tell, and it will give it away, but this is a good story, is a year ago, we had a clinician come in and work with our jazz ensemble, and we were preparing for state solo ensemble. And the clinician happened to be my old high school teacher, who's probably the best drummer I know. And he worked with this individual, there it's given away if not already, and helped him on this very challenging swing tune that we were doing. And he said, this former teacher of mine sat down and played with the group, and he said, hey, why don't you try some stuff like this? You can set up stuff like that. And the next week at rehearsal, I look back there, and this kid's doing exactly what this guy who's been playing 35 years did, and showed him one time. So I send this video to the guy, and he's like, that guy's got some big freaking ears. So, do we know? Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Tanner Safford. A similar award, this is for Outstanding Performance in Concert Band. And not unlike the Jazz Award, somebody who is very respected in the group, in their section, someone that is a leader, someone who, if they are not there that day, the section notices, and we all end up noticing, because without that leadership, and especially the leadership provided by this person, it's very, very noticed. But this is a person who, not unlike what I said before, is one who has been just a joy to watch, like, kind of come out of their shell over the last several years. They didn't used to say much, at least not here. And the personality has just grown into a wonderful, wonderful young person and a great musician to boot. So this year's recipient of the Outstanding Performance in Concert Band Award goes to trombonist Seppi Pico. Few more left. The next one, the Leonard Bernstein Award for Musicianship, named after the legendary Leonard Bernstein, the composer of West Side Story, among numerous other credits, really a giant in the music world. This is going to recognize another one of our fantastic musicians who I have had, of course, over my years, a lot of people play this instrument, and I don't think I've come across someone that has a sound quite like hers. It has been an asset not only to the group, but to her section, and the way that she has just grown over the years and become just an awesome, awesome player makes her very, very deserving of this award. So this year, the 2024 Leonard Bernstein Award goes to trumpeter Maddie Gillis. Next is the John Philip Sousa Award, named after, again, a legend in the music world, John Philip Sousa. Those of you who this isn't your first rodeo of a spring high school band concert might be able to recite this speech right now. But it is worth saying every year that John Philip Sousa is the reason we have band in our schools the way that we do. Without him and the way he pioneered everything during his era, what you're getting to enjoy tonight and what we get to do every day, simply put, does not happen. So another absolute giant in the music world, and very fitting that a award that is given out internationally is named after him. This year's recipient, again, another very strong musician, good person, has been just not even, their playing has been an asset to the group and to their section, that they've been a leader, they've done extra things, solo ensemble, jazz ensemble, all that. But this person is one of those that most often is the first to show up and the last to leave. Whenever Mrs. Halverson or myself, when we need something, we know where we can go because this person is quite literally always there. Though, and I'm gonna spoil it now with this story, though they were not the first person there for the bus to State Solo Ensemble this Saturday. They were in fact the last person there who had to have 20 phone calls go to him before we finally was like, let's cut out the middleman and call his mom. But we're glad we had him with that day because he played a great horn solo and did awesome with our jazz ensemble. Ladies and gentlemen, the Sousa recipient this year, French horn, Jacob Lynn. I thought I said nice things. All right, we have one more award tonight, and that is the Arion Award. Not unlike the others that you've seen, given out internationally to outstanding musician, outstanding leader, some who has done extra. They've been in our jazz ensemble. They have done solo and ensemble events as a soloist, as part of small groups. They've been a featured soloist on concerts a number of times, and every time continues to raise the bar. And is, again, just a terrific young adult as well. You heard her absolutely shred on Riverdance. This year's recipient of the Arion Award is saxophonist Jamin Schofield. I'm going to go back up here now. All right. Again, congratulations to all our scholarship recipients, people who did State Solo Ensemble award recipients tonight. Again, some of the toughest decisions we have had to make, but that's a good problem to have, I suppose. You have this many terrific people. It's good to have those decisions be difficult. Just a couple of last things before we play our last concert band piece, just to say that, man, this has been a busy year. The group you see up here has done a lot. We hit the ground running every fall, and we really have not stopped. Some of the things, of course, in addition to our usual course of events, pep bands, concerts, solo and ensemble festivals, as we've mentioned before. We became somewhat TV famous back in February. That was pretty cool. Many of us took a trip to San Antonio, Texas, which worked out so beautifully because when you guys got that Monday snowstorm, we were on the beach in Corpus Christi. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, we traveled all that way and it only topped out at 80 degrees, so only. So it's, again, a busy year, but it's been a joy. And then coming up this Friday, the band will be traveling down to Madison. We've been invited, I think I mentioned this at the last concert, we'll be playing at the Wisconsin Law Enforcement Memorial Day ceremony, which is on the grounds of the state capitol. And I just found out today, if you are interested in watching that ceremony, that's going to be broadcast on Wisconsin Eye. For those of you who are familiar with C-SPAN, it's like the Wisconsin C-SPAN. You can stream things for free online there. And that will be taking place Friday at noon. So we're very honored to be able to take part in that very important ceremony. Making sure I'm not leaving anything out. Of course, our list of thank yous that I like to do all the time: administration, school board, community, custodial staff, transportation staff. We can't do it without any of those people for sure. Our beginning band instructor, Beth Halverson, thank you for continually sending me really awesome people to work with once they hit 7th grade. Anna Trakoff-Stradioti over at the elementary school is awesome and keeps sending Mrs. Halverson awesome people to work with by the time they hit 5th grade. I want to thank our student aides from this year. Let's see, we got Hannah Tadlock, who pretty much saved my life in February when I had 4 massive paperwork deadlines within 3 days of each other, and I completely did that to myself. So Hannah, Jacob Lemke, Jamie Foles, and Maddie Gillis all have been our student aides this year, so thank you. And probably most importantly, everybody up here behind me. I say this maybe not often enough, but working with them, we meet first hour, is the absolute highlight of my day here at school. Working with them and coming up with a product that you're able to hear concert in and concert out, year in and year out, is really, it's not work. It really isn't work when you enjoy it. And working with them, even though they might not know it sometimes, like Friday, is really terrific. You know, there's a lot of other things that come with the territory, but it's like, you know, I can take the emails, flush that, meetings, sorry, Mr. Rickle, but not that you're not engaging, but all that other stuff I could throw out the window in a heartbeat. But working with them, if I could do it 8 hours a day, I would do it. So students, thank you. Again, you've risen to so many challenges this year. You've done extra. More has been asked of you this year with extra performances and stuff than probably ever. So from me, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, students. You are awesome. Let's give them a... After this piece has concluded, we're going to have a small stage change, and then our jazz ensemble has a couple of pieces for you. We encourage you to all stick around for that. They're going to be playing the 2 pieces they played at the state festival this past Saturday, which again are great engaging pieces of music. But before that, our final concert band piece for tonight, Pixar movie Magic. The name kind of says it itself. It is music from a bunch of Pixar movies, including Toy Story, Ratatouille, Up, Cars, and The Incredibles is the first one that you're going to hear, and I almost leave it out. So we hope you enjoy the concert band closer, Pixar movie Magic.
Yeah.
All right, this is our award-winning Cameron High School Jazz Ensemble. They received a 1 rating down at the festival this past weekend, which is as good as you can do in the world of rated festivals. They had to be on the bus at about 6:10 in the morning, or for one of them it ended up being 6:25, 6:30. Which anyone who's worked with young adults knows, when you need to leave by 6:30, tell them you gotta leave at 6. That's why we do that. And then they had to be down there. We had to haul all our equipment, get into the concert hall down there at the Arts Building, and be ready to play at 8 o'clock, which for a lot of groups is a problem, but we meet at 8:10 every day, so it worked really well for us, and they, again, did just a fantastic job. You're going to hear the 2 pieces that we played Saturday. The first is an arrangement of the jazz standard, The Way You Look Tonight, just a nice classic. Sinatra made it real famous a long time ago. And it is going to feature a couple of soloists who, bear in mind when you hear them solo here, they are making it up on the fly, doing it on their own. They have a set of rules and a set of notes, a set of exceptions, and ways to break the rules. And it is all them. So it's going to feature on tenor saxophone, Kaylin Ewald, who you saw playing clarinet before, one of our multi-instrument people, and also on trumpet, Jordan Lundequan. So this is The Way You Look Tonight. Okay, before we play our final piece for you, just wanted to make a kind of a mention here of our 12 seniors that we recognized before. 8 of those 12 are playing here in our jazz ensemble. So a lot of them have been pulling double or even triple duty for a number of years and have again done just a fantastic job. I also want to point this out because I'm seeing this more and more year after year at concerts. I see a ton of our alumni here from some recent years. I want to thank you all for, don't look around like that. I want to thank all those former students that keep coming out to see some of the people that they've played with years back or have siblings in the group. It's always awesome to see people keep coming back and enjoying what we're doing here and what we're putting out. So good to see you all. Afro Blue is a Latin piece, and it is tough. Has an expanded rhythm section. You're going to hear some hand drumming back there. It's in 3/4/6/8, kind of an odd feel, and it took us a while before we got much past, what would you say, about 15th measure. There was a lot of rehearsals. It was like, okay, let's maybe get to 15 today. But they have done a good job. They have persevered, and like I said, at the festival down in Eau Claire this last weekend, absolutely did a great job with it. This is going to feature on tenor saxophone Hannah Tadlock, and again on trumpet Jordan Lundequan. So we thank you for joining us. Drive home safely. We look forward to seeing you back at some more concerts next year. And this is Afro Blue. Have a great rest of your evening.